All right, so we're back talking about ROHO calibration. We've inflated the ROHO cushion. One thing to be mindful of is that you cannot inflate the ROHO cushion while the client is seated on the cushion. You have to take the cushion, inflate it first, put it on the device, and then get the client to sit on it afterwards. One of the things we changed cushions that I wanted to point out to you, there's an air valve on this one as well, but there's also a locking mechanism on the front. So you'll see here there's a green button and a red button. Right now the green button is pushed in. This locking valve locks out the air and stops it from traveling around. So we want to leave it in the green position until we're happy and then switch it to the red position. Okay, so now we need to put the brakes on and check the client to make sure that we set the cushion properly. So if you can get in without taking the armrest off, you can go ahead and do that, but I often like to just take the armrest off and move it out of the way. This one's a little bit stiff. Okay, so what we're looking for is that bony prominence I talked about earlier, the ischial tuberosity or your sit bone in the lowest part of your bottom. One of the ways that we can really locate that easily is by having the client either lift their leg up for you or you could lift the leg for them. So you always want to check with the client first before touching them and explain to them that you're going to be putting your hand between their bottom and the cushion so that they understand what it is that you're doing. So you can have them lift their leg like this. That allows that bony prominence to sink down and become a lot more obvious to you. What I'm going to do is slide my hand down between her bottom and the cushion, and I'm going to be feeling for how much space there is between that lowest bony prominence and the seat pan of the wheelchair. So there should be about an inch, so you should be able to move your fingers just about an inch if we know that it's set up properly. If you can move your fingers a lot, it means that the cushion is overinflated and we have to let out air, which will be the situation here. If you can't get your hand underneath or you have very little movement, you know that the cushion is deflated and needs to have more air. So I'm going to put my hand underneath, find that lowest bony prominence. There's a lot of room here because obviously we've overinflated the cushion. You want to leave your hand in that position and then you're going to open the valve for the air by turning the knob counterclockwise on the air valve. So you'll hear air coming out. And I'm going to keep my hand there until I feel that sort of 1 inch margin. And then I'm going to shut the air valve again. Once I'm happy with it, I can lock it out. Put the armrest back in place. One of the things that we want to make sure when we're prescribing a device like a ROHO cushion is that the client or a family member is very well educated in how to do the calibration. It really should be checked for us every time we see the client, but for sure every 2 days. So this is something that I'm reluctant to prescribe in an area such as long-term care because there are high demands on the staff and the clients are usually not necessarily able to check it themselves. So if there is a situation like a client has existing pressure injuries on their bottom and I need to prescribe this device, then I'm providing handouts, videos, and education probably to family who's actively involved because they can be more accountable for checking that every day or every couple of days. One of the things that Robin and I also talked about that we wanted to explain is that no matter the seating surface the client is sitting on, whether it's a mattress in bed or any type of the cushions that we've showed you, there shouldn't be anything between the client and the seating surface itself other than the cover of the actual cushion. So we shouldn't see things like soaker pads, pillows, extra foam cushions, slings, all of those things for a number of reasons, but basically it defeats the purpose of what the seating surface is trying to achieve. It adds pressure, it can cause friction during transfers, all kinds of problems that we can encounter. So making sure that there's absolutely nothing between the client and the cushion or the surface itself. So I think that's it. That's how you set up a ROHO cushion.